Here to discuss more of this, Texas Congressman Jodey Arrington. Great to see you, Congressman.
Great to be with you, Jen.
Hey, thank you. You know, we have leaned on you and your colleagues for months now to provide a level of transparency that the Biden administration promised, but so far has refused to the American people. So what's going on here? The DOJ is prepared to pay off illegal immigrants, some unknown number, less than $450,000 a person. What do you make of this? What can you tell our viewers as to what's happening?
Well, it's getting harder for his staff to clean up his messes. He's disconnected from the administration that is rogue, but certainly operating under the guidance of opening the border and rewarding illegal immigration, not holding people accountable. So, it would only make sense when not only are you not enforcing the laws, not only have you removed all the effective provisions for securing the border and stopping illegal immigration, but you're also working in this massive tax and spend bill to provide 8 million people who've crossed into our country illegally amnesty and a pathway to citizenship. I mean, it seems to fit with their logic on encouraging more people to do this, rewarding it, and so I wouldn't put it past them. I can't confirm it, but it seems like they're not on the same page. But I can tell you the direction they're going is not back to a secure border anytime soon, if ever. So we've got to take measures at state level to stop this and to lock it down and begin enforcing the laws.
And I want to talk about that and the great work that you're doing, because I know that you introduced a bill co-sponsored by 25 of your colleagues that addresses some of the problems related to the Biden border crisis. You call it the Protect Communities from a Porous Border Act. Tell us about that.
Well, it's not just the fact that you have record numbers of illegal immigrants coming to the United States, record numbers of drugs, crime, and gangs, but the catch and release policy is dispersing this throughout the country. That's why every state is a border state. And when folks are released, and I have confirmation that many of them are COVID positive, presenting a health risk, many of them have criminal records, and we've seen that the criminal alien apprehensions are up significantly. Nobody in their communities is notified. The governors aren't notified. Federal officials are not notified. And so this bill would force the federal government to notify the governors and, in consultation with the community, make the decision whether they want to receive these released illegal immigrants or to redirect them to sanctuary states like California, but give some control to these communities and states who feel abandoned by their government and their president.
Yeah, Biden certainly wants this just to be a sanctuary country. And, since the summer, you talk about those flights. We've seen reports, we've seen pictures, videos of airlifts all around the country happening in the middle of the night. They're dropping off these migrants to places like Westchester County in New York, Chattanooga, Tennessee. What do you know about these flights, about maybe how many of them have taken place and what other cities that these late night flights are occurring in?
Well, it's happening all over the country. You can't get any information, Jen, from ICE and Homeland Security, but we know that these hundreds of thousands of people that are flowing into this country illegally every month are being displaced throughout the country. We don't know what they owe back to the drug cartels. We know that they all pass through the cartels. They are the ones in control of the border. We don't know what they owe to them, but there's this network of folks who've committed at least one crime. And like I said, criminal alien apprehensions are up significantly. And there's no deference to the states and communities where they're being released. So at a minimum, again, I think we ought to lock it down and exercise the constitutional powers that states have when the federal government abandons them in the face of an invasion. But second to that, if that's not going to happen, and I haven't seen that happen the way it needs to, then at least these communities ought to be able to have some control over protecting their citizens by redirecting these folks into communities and states that will welcome them.
And Congressman, I know that a group of Republicans, yourself included, sent a letter to DHS begging them to declare this a national security crisis. Do you think that they'll do it?
Look, President Biden won't even accept responsibility for what's going on. He refuses to call it a crisis. It is an unmitigated disaster, and it is completely self-inflicted by their policy. So I don't see that happening, but I will tell you it is a crisis. And it's not just national security. It's a constitutional crisis. And I want your viewers to look up Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution. The guarantee clause is the guarantee of protection against an invasion for every state by the federal government. It's not happening. States have to take matters in their own hands to enforce the laws, protect their citizens, lock the borders down, and prosecute the bad guys, because it's never going to happen on the watch of this derelict president.
No, it's not. It's time for bold action, and that's a conversation I'd love to have with you another night. Congressman Jodey Arrington, thank you so much for all that you're doing, and thanks for joining us tonight.
My honor. Thank you, Jen.